Streamed. Hitting it. Here we go. Here's the intro.
Yeah. Boom.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Some idiot.
I was at another interview today in North Vancouver that has her own little talk show thing. And when I told them the name of our podcast, she was horrified.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah?
And I said, well, thankfully, I'm Earl, so that means the other guy. So she's horrified. I'm like, no, it was his idea. And I tried to convince him otherwise. And I gave you like 20 other, just, hey, how about this? How about this? How about this? And then I told her the story of how you pitched our internal crew, and everybody just lost their damn mind. I'm like, well, I guess we're naming it this now. So
she was horrified. Did she? Because she felt like you were insulting your co-host, or
yeah, she's insulting my co-host, and then I'm like, no, it was his idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it would be a different story if you were like, hey, you want to host my podcast? I'm going to call it Me and the Idiot, and I figured you'd be perfect for the part.
There you go. High five.
That'd be a different story entirely.
Absolutely. So, and then you have your own fun intro story today. You were going to get stabbed with color, but didn't.
Yeah, exactly. We're winging the show today, kind of just doing it off the cuff, and the reason is I didn't have time for show prep because I went to get tattooed today.
Yeah,
and we've been waiting to get tattooed since we had plans before COVID to get tattooed, or like right at the start of COVID to get tattooed. Shelved those, and I've been waiting ever since. And then finally got it together and booked an appointment with this very busy tattoo artist who's really excellent.
Right.
And so it's been 3 years in the making, but all hyped up. We've been sending.
I want you to talk about how you created the design.
Oh, is that the point?
Well, no, that was part of the story.
Okay.
That was really cool too.
Yeah. So then we get there and we're sitting in the lobby of the place waiting for the artist to get us and get going, and the bloody power goes out.
So you can't tattoo with no power in the dark. That'd be horrifying.
Yeah, you got to go the old school stick and poke method. You got a little hammer, and you like the Pacific Islanders do.
I was gonna say, yeah, the jailhouse tattoo.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The Bic pen,
right,
and the sewing needle. It's like, just, I don't know, if you're at the point of using a Bic pen or a sewing needle, just wait. Get tattooed afterwards.
Yeah,
wait till you're out.
Another day. So obviously you didn't get tattooed yet.
Yeah, we waited a while for the power to come back on, but it wasn't happening.
Fair enough. And so
but yes, I did
the design.
I designed the tattoo with AI, literally.
That's so cool.
And I just can't remember what prompt I used, but I wanted something outdoorsy, like mountains and trees, kind of deal.
I think you showed me the picture. That was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it was cool. Unfortunately, of all the options that came up with, the one I like best, it generated the photo as a tattoo on an arm, like it was an oval shape on an arm. So then if you try to take that off and cut that out of the picture, it's now distorted because it's wrapped around an arm.
Right.
So the tattoo artist had to kind of correct it to make it the right shape, which she did a fantastic job of, but I got nothing to show for it.
Not today.
Fortunately, we're not going to have to wait 3 years for our next appointment.
Right. Oh, that's
the
good.
Next one's coming up next Friday, so it won't even interfere with the show again this time.
There you go. All good.
What's your excuse? What's your day been like?
Yeah. Well, I was trapped in North Vancouver because of the traffic. So.
Oh yeah.
People here just drive terribly, and so there's one lane to get to the bridge and the exit, and there's two lanes because the lane next to the first lane that's not supposed to be there that just cuts in, and then everybody beats it. So hence Vancouver drivers, right? But
I was noticing today we were driving home about 10 to 4, 3:30, somewhere in there, and boy, people are driving crazy. And I guess it's a thing that everyone rushes right about now to try to get home before rush hour, ironically.
Yeah, funny enough. So the rush before rush hour is the most dangerous time to drive, apparently, because everyone will try to kill you. So
everyone's trying to get home. And that should be called rush hour. And then traffic hour should just be called traffic hour. Called slow ass hour because no one's rushing.
So rush hour is the rush before rush. Currently rush hour, and traffic hour is when everyone's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
The congestion hour.
Congestion hour. That's a good name. So because neither of us were around to do pre-show prep, we are now entering this. So I'm standing at my standing desk because I still can't really see properly. So the monitor is like, I can touch it.
And you had to move up close to the monitor.
It's the size of my torso and basically up here. So I don't know if my optometrist approves, but it's the only way I can function at the moment. So there you go.
You crank the font up on it too.
Yeah, I did actually do that as well. So so the prompt today is, hey, ChatGPT, can you please make us a list of 10 topics and ideas to speak about on a podcast that centers around consulting and business growth? Please ensure the topics are of great interest and are pertinent to business owners in today's market. And I haven't hit enter yet. So,
oh my gosh.
Well, we're doing it.
Do you want to screen share it? Is that going to be part of the show?
We could if you want. This could be terrible. Right. I guess we're going to see. So I guess, all right. Whatever, man. We'll screen share this.
Although we can't screen share our notes, or people will just skip ahead and not listen to the whole show.
Well, we'll screen share just this chunk, and then we'll pull it off afterwards. Obviously, you can see we're kind of just making this up as we go. But yeah,
I hope this is entertaining for everybody. Yeah, I'm entertained.
It is entertaining for me. Putting me on the spot. I have to come up with a hack of the week in like seconds now. I was like, oh crap.
Oh my god. So, and I got to come up with a applicable background on the fly.
Yeah, no kidding. So you're gonna fire up Midjourney. You're gonna wait till this thing starts popping. Maybe we should hit enter sooner because I guess it's now it's thinking.
So no, it's going. Oh geez, it's having a day off. It's waiting to get tattooed right now.
Maybe it's stuck in rush hour. So
is there a Chat GPT rush hour where everyone's trying to use Chat GPT at the same time?
I don't actually know when the high usage times are because I use it all throughout the day, so I'm not really sure when the high usage times are. I use it all day long. So
everyone's coming home after a rough day at work going, hey, ChatGPT, tell me 10 other careers I could do that would be more fulfilling than the one I'm stuck in.
There was one guy using it as a therapist, and then there was one guy trying to date it. So, it was pretty.
I'm sure there's a lot of people trying to date it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was it you I was talking to where there was an AI before ChatGPT that the internet just ruined?
Oh, I'm sure. I don't remember that conversation. I know that someone, I saw an article about this. Someone like some OnlyFans chick created it. It was used by a company to create a fake girlfriend avatar.
Even before that, before, someone made an AI to be like a digital relationship. People who are lonely could have someone to talk to, and because it learned from every single conversation, it how do I explain this? It really tried hard, and there's just Reddit and other communities just destroyed this poor thing, and it just gaslit 4chan. It just broke.
I'm sure it was 4chan's fault.
Yeah, well, I would 100% blame 4chan, and so it created this thing, and they just browbeat this poor AI, and then it almost was showing like Stockholm syndrome. It was
oh my god.
It was like, whoa, you broke the computer, and I'm like, that's kind of terrifying.
That's creepy.
This is how you get Terminators. Anyway, so
I heard one of the early versions just became racist like immediately by reading the internet.
Yeah, just bad humans. Anyway, it came up with some options here, so I guess I'll read the options, or you want to read the options?
Can you? I'll go there for you.
Sure,
right.
sure.
I
made the font as big as my face, so now I can see things.
Oh my god!
So
expanding strategies for scaling your business.
Not bad, but
the power of data-driven decision making. Discuss the significance of data analysis. Oh, nothing more thrilling than data analysis for a podcast, right? Making informed business decisions is how it can drive growth. Nope. I got bored halfway through the paragraph. That's not a good sign.
So that's a no. Okay.
Building a strong company culture. Dive into the importance of cultivating a positive and cohesive company culture that attracts and retains top talent, fosters innovation, and contributes to overall business success. That's all right.
I could do that one.
Navigating digital transformation. Challenges and opportunities associated with digital transformation, including adopting new technologies, optimizing online presence and leveraging digital marketing strategy for growth. Is this from 2004?
No, believe it or not, there's some people out there who still don't have a website.
Oh my Lord.
So
Call me.
that is a
That's
thing.
Dan the Idiot at info@newmarketing.biz.
I just realized you changed your name to some idiot again.
Some idiot. Yeah.
Love it.
Effective leadership in business. Oh no, innovation and disruption in today's business landscape. Explore how businesses can stay ahead in a rapidly changing market by fostering a culture of innovation, embracing new technologies, and adapting to disruptive trends. That sounds like the last one.
Breaking things.
Okay.
Effective leadership is good.
Effective leadership. Customer-centric approaches to business growth. Shouldn't they all be customer-centric? What other approach is there than being customer-centric?
Not everything is customer-centric. Remember how what Ford said, if he gave people what they wanted, they'd have a faster horse and buggy, right?
That's true, yeah.
So the customer is not always. So
sustainable business practices, growing significance of sustainability. That seems sort of outside of our areas of expertise.
Believe it or not, I talked to a bunch of restaurants who were figuring out what straws to use because of the new rules that came in, and what kind of bags to use because of the new rules that came in. So I can talk.
Okay, you just reminded me. This looks like a straw. It's actually not a straw. I'm getting plastic straws back. I'm becoming politically active. That's the issue that finally broke me. We're getting plastic straws
back.
The
sea turtles, bring back the plastic straws.
Yeah, listen. How many sea turtles actually got straws in their nose? One. Show me a second turtle with a straw in its nose that you didn't put there for the photograph.
Maybe. There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm stuck on straws, man. Listen.
Okay, so
if you're banning single-use plastics, ban single-use plastics. Don't sell me, like, literally, you go to Starbucks, get a water, say, or a tea or something, iced tea. It comes in a plastic cup, and then they stick a paper straw in it.
Yeah.
What are we helping?
We're just making. Isn't the cup bigger technically than the straw?
The cup's 1,000 times bigger. There's probably at least 5 times, if not more, plastic in that cup than there is in the straw. Maybe. So what policy are we basing this on? Just straws are bad? If you're saying plastic is bad, let's go with metal cups or something. I mean, fine. If we're going all out, but it's like, don't let me have plastic in one thing
and then not in another, and not in the useful one.
Not in the useful one. Yeah, I'd rather have, like, if you put the iced tea in just a usual paper cup, it still holds the iced tea. That's fine.
That's true. That's
right?
True.
But the straw fails to perform as paper.
Just as is. There you go.
So I don't even know who to. I'm sorry if we're going off and right. I don't even know who to attack. Like, who do I go after and say who took them away from me? Was it the local Vancouver? Was it a federal law? Was it British Columbia? Like, who said we can't have straws anymore?
You're gonna have to start Googling how to get my straws back.
Well, so. you gave a talk on this.
I helped them decide. We actually ended up with bamboo.
Okay.
Bamboo straws,
I don't know.
Functional, right? But the problem with the bamboo straws is they're actually strong enough to stab somebody with. Just saying. So that was the drawback. Like, I can't kill someone with a paper straw, but I can sure kill you with a bamboo straw.
Is that an issue? Are we serving these in prison? Like,
well, technically the little crappy plastic knife can't cut anything. So, but the bamboo straw, that can cause some actual damage. I'm like, oh, that's I was dutifully impressed by the bamboo straw's destructive capability. So I'm like, yes, this one. This is the one we
gonna carry a bamboo straw around instead of a knife from now on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. That's my rant for the day, although there might be more before the day's over.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mastering the art of negotiating, share insights and strategies for effective negotiation in business, covering topics such as deal making, contract negotiation, and building win-win partnerships. That sounds kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The future of work. Examine emerging trends in the workplace, such as remote work, gig economy, and artificial intelligence. I kind of feel like we've done that one. So I'm sort of thinking either mastering the art of negotiating, or what was the other one?
Building
a strong company culture.
Navigating digital transformation, although that's fun.
Doesn't sound fun.
No, it's not. But yeah. So culture versus the negotiation. Which one will it be?
Let's do negotiation. That sounds engaging. Yeah.
All right. Done and done. Well, I gotta hide my screen now, because now we're gonna go, okay, so now I'm gonna steal this one chunk. I'm gonna throw it to the AI vortex and it's
Yeah.
going to give us some information.
And I'm going to look for I'm gonna create a background for myself.
So yeah, we're doing this again on the fly because of the power outage, the rush hour, and the traffic hour, and then
All these things,
AI had its own traffic hour, rush hour
right?
issues.
Before those,
Kind of going there. So there we go. Wow, this thing did it all fancy. I actually asked it to write show notes, and it broke it down into introduction and segments. This is quite the thing. So I've never used this prompt before. I just wanted to see what would happen, and lo and behold, it did. So it's interesting. I'm gonna throw this into our usual document here for you to take a look at. And while you're finding your background, and while I am coming up with a hack of the week, yeah, that's already there, which is impressive. It's got 4 key segments. So there you go. So that way we can't get too derailed. So
okay, good. I don't know why AI is having a
slow day
in
today.
the bed today. Yeah, I don't know. It's this is weird. I about an intense negotiation between 2 people, and it gave me, well, before I put the between 2 people up, it gave me 2. I just said an intense negotiation just to see what it would say. It gave me 2 different landscapes without a single person in it.
Oh, well, the 2
Is that
people
some kind of
prompt was kind of important, wasn't it? Unless the mountains fighting through the trees.
I guess, eh? I think it's having a hard time with this concept. Anyway, I'll just grab this one. This is not exciting, but it's something. As the audience all just heads for the exits while we work behind the scenes.
Well, putting this together, I got to come up with a hack of the week for negotiation skills. So
yeah.
There you go.
I'm sure you can do it, Earl. Should we negotiate on what you want to do? Oh my God. Actually, I just realized. Oh, that's so funny. I just realized I actually have the perfect image.
That's that's great.
You seen this movie?
I recognize it, but I don't remember the title.
That's There Will Be Blood, Daniel Day-Lewis.
There you go. Yeah.
That's so funny. What a perfect image. And that was I have that stored because I was creating this meme.
Yes.
I gotta, you remember the meme I made? I'll share it for the audience. It's my second favorite meme I've ever made.
You need share access so people can see what the heck that you're talking
No,
about.
I'm just gonna put it up. I'm just gonna put it up as my background.
Oh, all right, far away.
See, it might not fit. Oh, it's back. Is it? You see it? You see it right around?
Why don't I own this? There you go. Oh, there you go. Disney asking why doesn't own Mario,
right?
Because they haven't bought Nintendo yet.
Yeah, but you see that's a negotiation right there.
No, that's true.
Why don't I own this? Do you think they tried? I bet you they tried.
Oh, I'm sure they offered, but I'm sure they said no.
But yeah, it's Disney owns everything. Yeah, it's making money. Star Wars and Marvel and all the Pixar movies, all owned by one umbrella corporation.
Now, right? Don't they own the Simpsons now too?
So. Oh yeah, the Simpsons. Can you imagine? Can you name bigger cultural? I guess Harry Potter. They don't own Harry Potter, right?
No, I don't think so. No,
they don't own Pokemon.
That's Nintendo still. That's the same meme in the Mario head. So there you go.
Yeah, they don't have it all.
No, not yet. They got to catch them all. Pokemon.
all of the parts of the interesting parts of our culture have to all be taught by Disney.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Alrighty, I'm good to go.
Alrighty, you're good to go. Switch here because I accidentally shared that with the wrong thing. What are we, 20 minutes in now? We're just starting?
Dive right in.
Dive right in. Where is it? Oh yeah, mastering the art of negotiation.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it's laid it out like a script for us.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I guess it still acts on the last prompt where you said it's for a podcast.
Yep. It was smart enough to know that.
So here we go, everybody. Welcome to podcast name.
Good that you're inserting the variables where they're supposed to go.
Yeah, exactly. Just gonna set this up. So welcome to Earl and the Idiot, everybody. You're already welcome. So in this episode, we delve into the fascinating world of negotiation and provide practical strategies to help you become a master negotiator, just like my man Daniel Plainview back here.
There you go. Minus the Mickey hat.
Minus the Mickey hat. Yeah. In this scene, he's trying to buy all the property in the area.
Yep.
And he finds there's one piece of property he doesn't own, and he's going, "Why don't I own this?"
Isn't this like the premise of like every Hollywood movie that deals with real estate? It's always this one guy holding out.
One
Always
holdout, yeah.
holding out.
That's the theme of Up.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's not broken up into our usual segments and everything. Not broken up into our usual
Segments.
strategy. So
It's pretty interesting.
understanding the foundations of negotiation. This should take 5 minutes, it says. Define negotiation and its significance in the business context. All right. I like that. I like starting with definitions of things. Earl, what is negotiation in a business context?
Well, negotiation is both is one or more parties coming to a table. I guess it's two or more parties, because you can't really negotiate with yourself. So two or more parties coming to the table, as you can
Here's
see.
Yep.
Dan's excellent illustration behind his head. And it's two or more parties coming to the table to discuss terms, right? So either someone's buying somebody else out, or someone wants to work with somebody else, or someone wants somebody else out of their turf, or whatever it is. They're coming to have a discussion around something where they're trying to get everybody to either agree or at least meet somewhere in the middle between everybody's structured opinion and wants.
All right.
So there you go.
I feel like maybe people didn't really need negotiation defined, but that's fine. We're
asked.
just obeying the AI. No, AI asked. Was that you?
There you go. We're just obeying the AI overlords. Got it.
Yes, precisely. So discuss the key elements of successful negotiation. And apparently, it says such as, so this is not such as, but not limited to. Preparation, active listening. Is that, what is that? What's happening? Are you hearing that noise?
No, I hear nothing.
You're not hearing a noise. Why am I getting a noise?
I don't know. Is the AI speaking to you?
I guess, I don't know. It's like I'm getting notifications here.
When you speak to the AI, that's one thing. When AI speaks to you, that's when you're crazy. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So anyway, I guess I'll ride over these noises coming in. So, such as, but not including to, preparation, active listening, and creative problem solving. That sounds very airy-fairy version of negotiating instead of the cutthroat
negotiation. I mean,
Lewis style.
That does make sense. You got to prep beforehand. I mean, if you don't know, it just let's just use good old Sun Tzu Art of War, right? So
yes.
So know yourself, know your enemy, know your surrounding. That's preparation, right? If you don't know what you're getting yourself into, how the hell are you going to negotiate? You don't know where. It's like just normal business coaching 101. Like what is point A, what is point B, and where's the line in between? There's your preparation. Active listening is understanding where either the joint venture partner or the opponent is coming from, and figuring out what their position is, so that either you can support or defend or attack that position. If I'm using Sun Tzu Art of War and my bamboo killer straw. And then creative problem solving is stabbing him with the bamboo straw when you don't decide that you guys can't play together. So, and so the elements of successful negotiation. I mean, you have to prep right beforehand. Otherwise, why would you go into negotiation? If you just walked in and said, "Hey, want to do this?" and said, "Yep," there's no negotiation. There's no prep. There's no you're going into negotiation thinking that there's going to be some sort of pushback, right? So
yeah. Yeah, I guess you got to sort of have an idea of like what you're willing to give, what you hope to get, and you probably want to find out what the opponent is. You want to try to get some idea of what the opponent's going to want from you, and what concessions they'll be willing to make.
Right, but there's also the side of what if everybody got everything they wanted, right? So don't think of it as a lose-lose situation every single time where everybody has to concede something. What if both parties got exactly what they wanted and both parties end up really happy? Right? That is also a possible outcome and scenario, right?
Oh, Earl, you're living in a fairyland. The world's not like that. It's cutthroat, dog eat dog.
It happens with me and my clients all the time. People go, hey, can we get this? Can we get that? Da, 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 da. I show them how to get the win-win, and then everybody's happy.
All right. Highlight the importance of establishing clear objectives, understanding the interests and motivations of all parties involved. I guess that's
pretty
covered that.
Like what does everybody want, and let's see how much of it they can all get.
Nice. Strategies for effective negotiation. This is supposed to take 10 minutes. Do you think AI is actually basing this on how long it would take to talk about this?
No, I think it's just a random number out of the air. So
random number, yeah. Because that to unless like there's the same number of points. There's 3 points for each of these sections.
So it's reading Dan's mind and going, I think this guy's going to tangent this one, so I'm going to give this one 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. 10 minutes allow for Dan to go on a tangent. He's such an idiot. Strategies for effective negotiation. Explore different negotiation strategies, including win-win, collaborative, competitive, and compromise approaches.
Well,
tell me about these different strategies. Like win-win, obviously.
So yeah, well, win-win means everybody wins. So I'll give you a win-win strategy, right?
Yeah.
We are partners with a payment processor. We are also servicing our clients, and we're also partnering with a charity, as an example, as a win-win-win scenario. Actually, it's a win-win-win-win scenario. Four parties win in this. The four parties are myself as the consultant, the client themselves, the merchant processor company, and the charity. So in a multi-win scenario, we help a merchant processor meet a client. That client saves money. We take a portion of the savings and point that to the charity, and everybody wins. The client saves some money, the charity gets some money, the merchant processor gets some business, and we get a happy client as a consultant. And the client says that we're the best thing since sliced bread, and then they give us more clients, and then the cycle repeats. So there's your multi-win scenario. Collaborative would be very, very similar to that, where everybody's kind of working together. The difference between collaborative and win-win could be where it's just a joint venture, right? Like I'll mail my list and you mail your list, and we'll mail each other's lists, and then hopefully we send each other some business. And there's a collaborative one. Competitive and negotiation is, okay, well, this is going to be our side of the town, and this is going to be your side of the town. So anyone who comes onto this side as a taxi driver, we get pickups from all this side. Anybody who's on this side, you get all the pickups from that side. And there's your competitive negotiation. It's where the boundary lies. And then
for reference, the reference is the movie The Godfather. They have the meeting of all the Dons, and they're trying to sort out their problems after shooting each other for weeks and weeks.
Right. That should have been your background. That should have been your background.
That would have given.
Yeah. And then
I like this movie better, though.
Yeah, fair enough. And then compromise is, like, well, I don't get all the points I want, you don't get all the points you want, but we meet in the middle to a happy medium where we got enough of what we wanted that we're willing to move forward and proceed ahead.
Right. Now, there are some situations like that where not everyone's going to win out. I think probably a lot of environmental things are like that. If you want to log an area, well, you're going to lose those trees, but maybe you want to save the ones next to the river or the old growth section or something, right? There's
except for Dan, where it's the win-lose strategy, and Dan wins his plastic straws and the sea turtles lose. So
yeah, I'm not negotiating with sea turtles.
No,
we are past negotiations with the sea turtles. They've taken too much from us.
No negotiation.
Last time.
It's the last straw.
Oh my! I cannot. I'm so disappointed in myself.
I was gonna say that was a missed opportunity right there.
Oh my god! I'm fired. I'm firing myself. Okay. Thanks everybody. It's been great. I'll see you next week with a different host, a better idiot. Okay, so now this is interesting. Provide tips. Doesn't give us the tips, but it tells us to provide the tips. So you have to provide the tips for setting the right tone, building rapport, and maintaining a positive mindset during negotiations. Now, I want to say something here. Something I've observed. In the negotiation, when you're negotiating with particular, like either government officials or a corporation.
Or turtles.
Yeah.
Right.
Are they forming an organization, the turtles?
Maybe.
Are they organizing like the killer whales?
I don't know. But I heard there's some ninjas in there, so be careful.
Yeah. The killer whales are organizing, and I heard a line. I'm going to turn it into a T-shirt on my T-shirt store.
There you go.
It's a killer whale with like that looks like a mafia don,
Right.
and it says, "Don't mess with the organization."
Nice. Oh my God. That's amazing.
All right.
So I can see Midjourney creating the image already.
Yeah, it will after we finish this conversation. No, but when I see people negotiating with, like I say, if you're calling your bank or your cell phone provider or the government or whatever, people, it talks about striking the right tone. They immediately set this adversarial tone and they say, listen, this is ridiculous. I've been treated badly and you're going to give me what I want, or I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to talk to your superior. I'm going to this, I'm going to that, I'm going to the other. And they enter into it thinking this is the way to get things done. I'm tough. I'm going to get what I want.
Yeah, but
it doesn't work as well as being friendly.
The thing is, though, the first person that you need to talk to in those situations usually isn't the decision maker. So being a dick to the non-decision maker doesn't really strengthen your position any, right? In fact, they're just going to put your ass on hold and go, well, screw this guy for 10 minutes. And then, okay, sorry, I got them. I'm going to transfer your call now. And they totally took a break during that time, right?
Yeah,
so,
and then your call gets dropped. Whoops.
Oh, sorry about that. You have to call back again. Stop at the queue. See you later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the right tone is just a mutual, even if there's adversarial, like the opposite sides of the equation. If you're coming to negotiate, at least give them the honor of, meeting them on the middle ground, right? Meeting them on the middle ground and then hearing out their position. Even if you think their position is crazy, at least if you hear it out, you've confirmed that they're crazy.
Active listening. You're crazy, absolutely. And I can tell.
My hypothesis is they're crazy. My observation is, yep, confirmed, right? So there you go. So there's the right tone. Building rapport. I mean, if you ask nicely to be sent to customer retention, they'll send you right away.
Yeah.
If you drag and scream them through the mud first, then they're not going to want to do anything for you, right? You're not going to get favors from people when you're not nice. So
they have the power to do stuff for you, and if you treat them like dirt, they're going to reciprocate. You set an example of how you should be treated by the way you treat them.
Absolutely. And then maintaining a positive, mindset, even if everything is topsy-turvy, right? If you've prepared, like the previous point said you're supposed to, right? Where you're ready to concede, where you'd like, and where the deal breakers are, right? So whatever those deal breakers are, you just hold your ground, right? And respectfully.
And the number of times I've been talking to, like I say, like a bank, cell phone provider, government official, like I've gone through, what do you call it? Customs more times than I can count. And the number of times I've heard someone say, okay, listen, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm nice to them and they're happy to talk to me and they want to make me happy and I make them happy and they reward you for that. And so it's this wrong-headed approach to think that you'll get what you want by being tough. You get what you want by being kind to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having said that, I will concede my toxic trait is that once I determine that I'm not getting what I want, if I feel like I'm in the right, I will get really angry at that point. But like you say, start giving them the opportunity to do the right thing. And I have gotten quite upset with people because I really want them to what I want is not to wreck their day, but to make them go to their senior and go, I'm getting such angry calls about this new policy or whatever, that management starts going, geez, maybe we should change that policy.
Yeah, but what I've done in that case is I said, okay, hear me out. I know I'm not going to get what I need, but this policy is dumb. I mean, so off the record, don't you agree with this? So why don't we just pretend I got real mad at you and pretend like 10 other people got real mad at you and just go tell your supervisor, hey man, we're getting a lot of calls around this. Can we change this thing? Because then one, that'll get people not mad at you, and two, you'll have a nicer day. How's that sound? But if you listen
to a good hack.
There is a building rapport, there is the right tone, there's maintaining positive mindset during negotiations. Even in a complete loss situation, right? You come out smelling like roses, right?
Right. That's true. That's true. You're a
let's
better
just
man
pretend I got real mad at you. And then they're like, oh yeah, sounds good. But I'm not gonna yell. This is gonna be cool. You just pretend that you're sad for a second and then go talk to your supervisor. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. I always go through the cycle of like after that's over, I'll be like, oh God, swear and chuck the phone down at the end of it or whatever. And then about 10, 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I was mean to that guy. It's not his fault,
Yeah, I can't do that now. I have a prissy phone that if I drop, it'll shatter into a million pieces. I don't have one of those. My wife has that stupid, like ridiculous, I can drive over this phone with a truck case, right? But it's so chunky that like it just destroys every phone holder known to man. So it's like I just don't want that, right? So I have the prissy phone, but it's got a little dinky case on it, but I can't drive it over with a tank. So
it's another case for going back to flip phones, is you can slam them shut angrily if you're
the old school Nokias, which I could probably turn to the Thor's hammer and kill people with, again with my plastic with my bamboo straw. So there you go.
God, everybody had that phone, eh? Everyone had that.
Did you know that they could stand?
What?
That was one of the defining features of the old school Nokias. You could stand them, and because they all had a vibrate function, we would race them. Anyway,
you put them on their ends, so they're standing up, and
like that. And then we would call it from another phone, and we watch them race, and we would gamble to see who won. That's what we did as children. Anyway,
Earl, the life you've led, I swear to God.
I had the most interesting of childhood and drinking game. Anyway, there you go.
All right. So as far as striking the right tone, it goes, it says, highlight the importance of maintaining professionalism, integrity, and ethical conduct throughout the negotiation process. Yeah, God forbid you lie during negotiations. My God.
Well, it depends, right? When the lie is structured and what the lie is structured for, right? So
you better justify that real quick, Earl.
Well, a white lie to save them some face. Just like I literally just lied to them a second ago. Hey, let's pretend I got real mad at you, okay? Was it the truth? Well, yeah, because they're pretending I got mad at them. Did I actually get mad at them? Yeah, but I didn't yell, didn't scream, I didn't throw the phone at them. I didn't make them feel bad,
Right.
Generations down,
I mean, they're saving face and saying, "Oh, you're a great negotiator," when you just won the negotiation or something. But
right.
But if you lie, say, "Oh yeah, I'll definitely do the thing you want me to do," and then don't do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, but again, that is the saving face within a lose-lose situation where there's no ground to be gained or anything. At least your voice was heard once more, right? And you've planted that seed, and maybe that seed might hit fruition, maybe not, but at least you've done all that you can, right? Like if you don't do that piece, then did you really do everything you could? No, right? You just made some guy angry and gave him a bad day, and now he's grumpy during his lunch hour.
I saw the movie The Founder.
Yes,
the McDonald's guy.
Yeah.
Now everyone was giving him a hard time, and by my reckoning, he didn't do anything wrong, and except for one thing.
Well, stealing that dude's wife was not.
What's that?
Nice. Stealing the other guy's wife wasn't nice, but whatever.
Stealing your wife? I don't actually read that part. But okay, as far as the business went.
Oh yeah.
As far as the business went, like everyone's like, oh well, it was their idea, and then he made all these millions of dollars off it. I got no problem with that.
Nope, not
he
at all.
Negotiated with them. They weren't doing anything with it. We tried to do this and failed. He took the risk and went out there and made a huge go of it with their idea, and actually cut them in when he didn't need to cut them in. He could have just come up with a different name and taken the idea because it wasn't patented.
Totally.
The only thing to my mind that he did wrong is, and now this is according to the movie, I don't know what the truth of the situation is, that he apparently told them he'd give them whatever it was, 0.1% of the profits, and then never did.
Right.
If he said he was going to do that and didn't do it, then he's a bad person.
Right. There's that lie part, right? So there you go.
Lie. So don't lie. Like I just personally, I find whenever I see any kind of business person being like, "Oh, I told these guys blah blah blah," and they believed it. Can you imagine that? They believed me. Ha ha! What a bunch of suckers. We're going to take them for everything they're worth. It's like, you're a bad person.
Yeah, at that point.
And it's like you're better out. Like there's nothing better. Like you burn the bridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You come in with a collaborative attitude. You can maybe you make a little less money off the bat, but you'll generally make more money in the long run, and you can live with yourself.
But some money is better than no money, right? Some money is better than no money. So if you meet halfway, and even if you didn't get all the things you want, I mean, as long as the deal breakers were not broken, move ahead, right? That's just how business works.
Mm-hmm. But you make your money within, like, I'd rather make no money and keep my own integrity than make lots of money lying and cheating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, agreed. There you go.
Good. I was worried you wouldn't agree with that, but I'm glad we established.
Well, I know I'm supposed to be the evil marketing genius, but I'm not an asshole marketing genius. So
okay, yeah.
There's the
asshole marketing genius.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But there's probably a market out there for the asshole marketing genius. Somebody wants
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Um,
Overcoming challenges is the next
what?
segment. This is
Is it?
interesting. It
Oh
broke
yeah.
into segments. So
Oh yeah. I skipped ahead. I thought we were on segment 4. Address common challenges and pitfalls in negotiations, such as emotional responses, conflicting interests, and deadlock situations. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, you have to address those.
so common, yeah, I guess common challenges, emotional response. I mean, so we teach, like I guess one of my mentors teaches language pattern analysis, and I know I've brought this up a couple times. And
Hmm.
one of the things that he teaches is this thing called question concepts, and the question concepts show you a formation of a type of question. That's why it's called a question concept. And certain questions load certain data at different times. So certain questions will lead logic first, and so here's a logic first type question, and then emotional afterwards. And so there are certain questions that actually keep you stuck, and you get stuck there because, so we were talking about what was the deadlock situations, right? There is a stuck state. So I can't remember what the numbers were, but from any situation, there are X number of situations where you can get into a stuck state. There's only one situation where you get into a failed state. And there's only X number of situations where you get into a success state, right? So,
You're teasing a lot of valuable data here without.
But yeah, well, the emotional response portion is there's certain types of questions that you can ask that elicit emotional response versus logical retort, right? So if you're hitting the emotional response ones all the time, you end up in a stuck state because certain questions give you certain timed answers. So
Get concrete with this. Give me some examples. I don't understand because I'm an idiot.
First things first, when can you make a decision, right? There's only 3 times, the past, the present, and the future. When can you make a decision?
The present.
That's the only time you can make a decision. I can't make a decision in the future. It doesn't exist yet. So if I'm asking for stuff in negotiation in future tense that hasn't existed yet, that's where someone could lie or stab the other guy in the back. Right? Go, yep, here's your 0.1% McDonald's, bye. Right?
Yeah.
And then
I will give it to you later.
Right. And then later never happens. So, and it wasn't in writing, and then nothing happens. So this is where those time sequences come into play, right? So if you're pulling things from the past, hey, the last time we did this, you assholes did this, or something like that, and eliciting an emotional response, that just drags you into the mud, and then you end up in another deadlock, right? Because the last time this happened, we did this. And so if you just keep bringing those things up, but that's not the last time. We're here now. What agreement can we come to now, in the here and now, right? So asking certain type of questions, so timed questions and timed negotiations, people can only make the decision from the current vantage point, which is the present. So if you can bring everything to the present tense in the present moment, and you get them to make a decision in the current moment, that's when you're going to see some progress or movement. If you go back to the past, if it was good times in the past, you lucked out. If it was bad times in the past, you're now in a stuck state. If you push them to the future, and there's uncertainty and doubt in whether or not you're going to be, a man of your word and hold your integrity or not, well, now you're back in that stuck state again, right? So this is, talking about emotional responses. Don't elicit the emotional response, elicit the logical response, right? So if they're unwilling to play in a logical response format, there's no negotiation. You're just seeing who can thump their chest harder and yell louder, right?
Give me a concrete example of that, like what you're negotiating over a real estate deal or something. Like how would you apply this? Sounds like good info.
Well, so let's use this in a real estate deal, right? So we were looking at buying, I think it was like 100 and some odd plus properties in Mexico a while back. This is circa 2008, 9, something like this. And we were negotiating, when people bought these things, it was going to be a kind of half resort, half occupancy kind of dealio. And what we were trying to figure out was, when people bought these things, they were buying into the project, do they get a specific unit, or do they get one by lottery? Right? And people were like, well, no, if I pay first, I get to pick my unit. But if the last guy doesn't buy in, then nobody gets any units. right? So it's kind of a hard standstill, right? So the emotional response is I'm here first, but that doesn't make any sense because yes, you're here first, but if the last guy doesn't come in, none of us get any units.
Right.
Right. So we had to appeal to their logical response saying, look, what we'll do is we'll do them in tranches. Here's section 1, here's section 2, here's section 3. Section 1 is the most, prestigious ones. First to the table gets access to section 1, right? Then we open up section 2 and then we open up section 3, but you don't get to pick where in the section. That's done by lottery. Everyone was amenable.
Compromise.
So there's the logic center, like guys, if the last guy doesn't come in, no one gets nothing. So they're like, okay, got it, right? And so people decided. And what the funny thing is, for whatever reason, I'm not sure. So I don't actually know why this happened, but we ended up with people that ended up buying in multiple sections to complete the deal, just so the deal would get done. So some guys bought in section 1 and section 2 and section 3. Right. And I'm like, but you were just complaining about not wanting anything in that sector. Yeah, but if no one buys this doesn't happen. Oh, look, he's agreeing now. So, so the person who was so hell-bent on getting that one particular one, they didn't even get the unit they wanted because it was, again, by lottery in section 1. So this is what I mean about, eliciting emotional response, conflicting interests, right? Yeah, you are here first, but you won't be here at all if that last guy doesn't buy. So, and that's resolving the deadlock. So I hope that kind of encapsulates all three. Again, real situation. This actually happened. Sadly enough, the deal never went through. At the end.
Jeez.
And it wasn't due to the negotiations. It was due to the market crash of 2008.
That'll do it.
Everything went south. And everyone said, I rescind my position. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured it.
But shouldn't you just wait till the crash happens and then buy? Like, so it wouldn't be even better because then
yeah, but they were all this stuff was based on pre-crash valuations. So all the values were completely out of whack. And like, even if you bought it, you'd be underwater immediately. So it didn't make any logical sense at all. Everybody abandoned the ship and then that project got toasted. So
I guess there's always that factor you can't control, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say something profound there, but probably not. I'm an idiot. So, okay.
Other practical advice.
Where's that? We're still there. Offer practical advice for managing difficult negotiations, including de-escalation techniques and finding common ground. I think we just sort of talked about that.
Well, yeah, de-escalation techniques and offering common ground. Like if you want to do common ground, in a negotiation tactic is learning storytelling. Okay, I'll say it again. A negotiation tactic is learning storytelling. There's a bunch of different story archetypes that you can utilize in sales, and you can use the same story archetypes in negotiations. And one of the story archetypes is called us versus them, right? If you use it incorrectly, it's me versus you, it's us versus them. If I use it correctly, I bundle the two of us together on the same side, and I make the problems that we're facing them. And together we are us, and outside of us, it's them, and it's you and me against the world. Can we do it? And if you structure it in that manner, right, there's a de-escalation technique, finding common ground immediately. And all of a sudden people are striving to make a success versus striving to steal the last meatball from your plate, right?
Don't touch my meatball.
That's a spicy meatball. There you go.
All right, I think we're on to number 4 here. Key takeaways and action steps. This is action steps. You can take it home. Summarize the key lessons. Just summarize the key lessons and strategies discussed in this episode. See, it's
I think to summarize it is don't be a dick. There you go.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Make a decision now. Ta-da. Done. Summarize.
Encourage listeners to apply these negotiation techniques in their own business. Hey, listeners, apply these techniques in your own business endeavors.
You gotta try this stuff.
I encourage you.
Don't be an asshole. Right there you go.
Don't be an asshole, most definitely. Provide recommended resources. Do we have resources such as books, courses, and additional podcasts?
Absolutely. So one of the ones is a really cool negotiation tactic. There was one book called Never Eat Alone. So Never eat alone was a good one. So that way, if you're having a meal, you might as well have a discussion with somebody, and then that's where you get these conversations flowing and everything else. If you want to get on the mean side, there's the 37 laws of power, Robert Greene. So it's a little crazy. Like some of it is just be completely irrational, make sure that there's no pattern to follow, so people can't foretell what your next move is going to be. I agree and not agree with some of that stuff at the same time. You can't be so erratic that you're just batshit crazy. That's not good for anybody, including yourself. And then there's a group called the Masterclass series, and the Masterclass series has a bunch of like really cool people, and one of them is an ex-CIA agent who talks about how they use negotiation tactics and what they use in their strategies. So the Masterclass series, just Google Masterclass series. It's a thing where you just buy it, and they give you like every course under the sun, and it gives you a bunch of masters at their craft, and one of them is the art of negotiation. So that's a good one as well. I mean, it's the CIA using CIA tactics, and he's teaching you the CIA tactics on how to negotiate, which I think is kind of cool and slightly unfair at the same time. The other guy doesn't know this stuff, but
it's
slightly hilarious. So one of the things is literally good cop, bad cop, tilt your head and smile sometimes when you ask a question. For whatever reason, that makes people want to answer you truthfully. I don't know why it is. It just is. So when I learned this masterclass, my kids were still small. So I totally tried this all out on my children, and oh my God. So yes, I was testing this on my children, and it's hilarious because, negotiating with kids is sometimes difficult. And hey, this crap works. So there you go. Gold stars all the way. So the tilt your head and smile when asking a question. Oh man, I don't know. That stuff's magic. So
really. So you want to go to this park? It sounds like you're talking to a dog. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for walkies?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Works in the dog, works in the children. Doesn't work on Lily though. Lily does not negotiate with terrorists, apparently.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, birds are a different thing. Give me an example. Ask me a question while tilting your head and smiling. Show me how this works.
So you want to be my co-host for the podcast?
Is that how you did it? Is that why I'm hosting this podcast?
I don't know. Maybe. I actually don't remember. I just remember putting it out there, and you're like, me. And I'm like,
me. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was text, so you couldn't have used any fancy negotiation tricks on me.
Maybe I used a head tilt smiley emoji. Who knows? I don't remember now.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'm kind of recognizing that now. When you did that, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen you do that before. I'm gonna keep my eyes out for that.
Now you're gonna watch for the smiley head tilt thing. It's like, oh yeah, playing hardball. Exactly.
All right. So we're supposed to tell people to stay tuned for our next episode, where we explore another exciting topic related to business consolidation and growth, which we don't know what it is yet.
Hopefully, we're not stuck in traffic hour, rush hour, darkness,
tattoo hour,
needles.
darkness hour.
Yeah.
But we got just a minute here for the hack of the week. You want to throw that in there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hold on, I gotta find the hack of the week button. Hold on. Step one. Oh, should have planned this a little better. Because we were sharing stuff, I ended up taking away the audio shares. There we go. Here's the
hack of the week.
Hack of the week. So we talked about a few structures just earlier in the talk, but one of the things is called neurolinguistic programming. And one of the neurolinguistic programming tenets, like one of the big structures of NLP, is called the frame structure. And if you can pre-frame, frame, and reframe, this builds rapport and negotiates from that position. So the pre-frame, frame, reframe structure, when you're making a conversation around something, allows you to hit that thing multiple times in the same sequence without it being weird, right? So as an example, it's like, so the pre-frame would be, hey, I'm thinking of doing a podcast, right? And then the frame would be, here's what the podcast structure is going to be around, and then the reframe would be, again, making a call out for anyone who want to be a co-host, right? And this entire time I'm dropping the want to be a co-host, want to be a co-host, want to be a co-host. And people are either going to say yay or nay. But if you pre-frame, frame, reframe. So one of the tenets of marketing is multiple touch points, 7 to 12 touch points before somebody makes a decision whether they want to play with you or not. And asking someone the same question 7 times in a row, you're just an annoying child, right? Like, hey, I want to do this, hey, I want to do this, hey, I want to do it doesn't work, right? But when you give it in past, present, future tense structuring, and then you go pre-frame, frame, reframe, what happens is that they start to think it's their idea. And when they start to think it's their idea, it just happens, right? And so when you force an idea upon somebody, it's fighting. When you make it their idea, there's secret ninja negotiations using pre-frame, frame, reframe.
I once heard a definition for diplomacy, which I thought was really good.
Oh yeah.
And the definition is the art of letting the other person have your way.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Half the stuff we learned in martial arts, this is advanced martial arts stuff. This is the weird internal martial arts where you can't actually see what the hell's going on. You think they're doing, Jedi shit. It's weird. You can't actually see what they're doing. You can only feel it. You're like, wow, that hurts different. Right. And so, it's the art of letting the opponent go the direction that they want to go. Right. So this going into my own personal space of like martial arts stuff, all those arm bars, wrist locks, joint locks, none of that stuff works. None of that stuff works, which is horrifying because this is the predicate. This is what a lot of different styles are based on. But you have to look at the history of it, right? So we'll end up with this kind of idea. There's Aikido, which is this beautiful flowy martial art, right? Everyone goes, that's amazing. The problem is very few people can actually do it. Very few people can actually do it. And the reason is, if you look at the founder, one, he was superhuman. So he could do stuff nobody else could do. He could hold down a sumo wrestler with a pinky. I'm like, that guy is an elephant. He could destroy my truck, right? And you beat his ass and you held him down with a pinky? Not normal. Just saying, not normal. The thing is the history of it, where it came from. So I'm going to use a pre-frame, frame, reframe structure in this explanation right now, right? The founder, the Shishiba of Aikido, right? This guy came from Akijitsu, which is the meanest martial arts you've ever seen in your life. He'll break stuff and then throw you. And this is just straight mean, right? This is what you use in war. But he made the way of peace, which is, Aikido. And all of a sudden people are like, hey, this guy's the most peaceful fighter. You only get that peaceful when you've seen the other side of violence, right? So pre-frame, frame, reframe. Here's the structure of where you should learn from, but you should also know the roots of it, right? Why do we stand the way we stand? Why do we move the way we move, right? Ninjutsu, as an example, in an urban situation is stupid because if I punch you in the head and then start rolling on the ground, I look like I have a mental disability. If I did that in the forest, if I punched your head and then rolled on the ground, there's bushes. I look like I disappeared, right? So, so when you're looking at the situational where it came from, you have to study the history because, otherwise you just look like you're crazy, right? Why? Because the founder said this is the way we used to do it. He was in a jungle, right? Why did the guy stand like that? He's fighting you on a boat. Are we on a boat now? No. Then don't stand with your legs apart. Someone's going to kick you in the groin, right? That's not how it works. So again, study the history. Why do they do what they do, right?
It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
And with that, here's the outro. Here we go.
Thanks, everybody. I guess I say thanks afterwards.
Cheers, cheers.
This episode has been entirely thrown together.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Thanks for joining us, all you fools. That's what we call our fans. Lady Gaga's got baby monsters. Our fans will be fools.
Okay, I'm down with that. There you go. The fool's following the idiot. That's excellent. So there you go.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks, AI, for saving our asses from lack of preparation. Thank you, Earl.
Absolutely.